domestic enterprise called public education. We created a string of federal legislation that tied federal funding to civil rights compliance. We also created, in the late 1970s, the Federal Department of Education. Many people felt that this kind of socialist enterprise was a problem for this nation. We needed to privatize, we needed to push back, and hence the move to competition, to corporatization, to marketization. And this continues today, whether we're talking about choice and charter schools, whether we're talking about alternative routes to teacher preparation, whether we're talking about how we treat funding, like with Race to the Top. These are all based on the idea that competition will solve all of our problems, right? And in fact, it's also tied in with the idea that there should be deregulation, there should be less. But I'd like to remind people that with so many kind of oppressive movements, the story is not so simple. Neoliberalism isn't really about deregulation. Free markets aren't really about deregulation. Free markets are about deregulating in some ways, but highly regulating in others, to ensure that the 1% continues to stay at the 1%. So think about so many neoliberal policies, like charter innovation. There's great charter schools out there. I'm not actually dissing all charter schools. What I'm saying is that we can't rely on the fracturing of a public school system to solve all of our problems. And how does that play out with neoliberal ideology? Well, it plays out when you see that neighborhood public schools are over-regulated, while charter schools are under-regulated. University teacher prep programs are over-regulated, while alternative routes of teacher preparation are under-regulated. There are so many examples of these things that are contradictions, and what I would argue is that they're not mistakes. This is how oppression works. It works through masking contradiction. And when you mask contradiction, you oversimplify the debate. And that is why the debates about charter schools, the debates about Teach for America, seem to be fixated on, well, aren't there some good charter schools? Aren't there some good graduates from Teach for America? And the answer is yes, there are. There are some awesome charter schools. There are some awesome graduates from Teach for America. But my focus is not on the individual. My focus is on what this does to the system, and that should be the focus of our debate. So as a last point, what I would say is that what I'm trying to point to is the difference between the rhetoric and the reality. The difference between, for example, what we say is the purpose of education and what is actually the function. We often talk about how the purpose of education is equal educational opportunity, is leveling the playing field, is preparing everyone to succeed. But what we have to remind ourselves of is that public education in this country was never actually created for everyone. It was created for the most elite, and as we were forced to integrate more and more students, we just came up with more and more ways to divide and sort them. The purpose of education might be equal educational opportunity, but the function has historically been to socialize and sort. This is how mass schooling works in nations around the world, right? So our job isn't to try to reclaim some mythical past. Our job is to dive into that contradiction, is to insist that we work that contradiction to see whether the possibilities for education can come to life. The possibilities that maybe we haven't even yet realized, the possibilities that we haven't even yet dreamt of. Can they come to life? And shouldn't they come to life with the social movements that we build? Schooling is a site of contestation, and that is why I'm so thrilled to be here in Portland, where I see youth leading struggles for ethnic studies. I see youth leading walkouts. I see teachers leading protests. This is the power of social movements. This is the power of organizations like this. And this is the power of all of you. I forgot to thank Karina for that awesome introduction, so thank you so much. Thank you all of you. I look forward to seeing the work.